64 of the world's top sailors had to wait 6 days before being able to compete for the 1988 Golf GTI Slalom title. Included in the lineup were the likes of Ole van Tol and Erik Groenewoud of Holland and South Africans Peter Slate and Cameron Bruce. During the days scheduled for the competition, no wind or an onshore wind under 15 knots made sailing impossible, leaving the sailors more than enough time for preparation and relaxation. Then, on what was supposed to be a rest day last Thursday, the southeaster came in at 30 knots and more. The agony of waiting was over, and the Golf GTI really took off. The art of sailing the figure-eight slalom is keeping your board as flat on the water as possible. In a 30-knot plus wind, that's easier said than done, and taking air means losing speed. Concentration means control, and control means cutting down on mistakes, the only way to stay in the race in very difficult conditions. Especially on the inside mark, where even the most experienced had problems staying upright, and many races were won or lost at this important turning point. Holding grimly onto the boom, in the blustering Cape Doctor, strained biceps to the point of numbness. Getting a smooth start and getting on the plane as soon as possible is a vital step in the direction of winning. Three full rounds of slalom ensure the fairest result, with sailors discarding their worst result. This meant 48 energy-sapping heats. The explosive 19-year-old Cameron Bruce successfully rounds the inside buoy. Natal's Justin Shea goes down. Erik Groenewoud establishing himself early on. Rounding the outside mark isn't all that easy, as Western Province's Murray Spears finds out. German Klaus Walter takes advantage. The women weren't spared the tough conditions. Anne Gadd planes to an early lead, but holding that lead isn't all that easy. Linda Spears arrows in on the inside buoy. Melanie van Eysendijk rounds carefully. The ladies showing their mettle by proving equal to the conditions. Anne Gadd pips Linda Spears at the post. The wind continues relentlessly, growing stronger as the day progresses, making that all-important control still more difficult. Wayne Roberts tries hard, but can't hold, and Australian Rowan Cudmore takes the opportunity of going around and ahead, followed by Nigler, Weibel and Caldwell. Volter, Ian Murray, Murray Spears and Gertenbach chase round the outside buoy and offer a chance in the final. Volter holds on to a lead. Australian Rowan Cudmore. Dutchman Ole van Tol. The preliminary rounds leave the top 8 to contest the finals. Rowan Cudmore, Australia. Ole van Tol, Holland. Cameron Bruce, South Africa. Wayne Roberts, South Africa. Erik Groenewoud, Holland. Werner Nigler, Austria. Peter Slate, South Africa. Craig Gertenbach, South Africa. 8 sailors all laid up and ready to go.
I'm just going to go for it. I mean, it's really strong out there. The conditions are pretty wild. I've just got to go for control. And if you got control in these winds, then you got speed.
Well, the plan is just have luck. That's the only way, because everybody's so good now. Like these guys, 8 guys are all very close to each other. So just has to be a little bit of luck and concentration.
And concentration will certainly be necessary in the first round final. Craig Gertenbach on the right, but it's Peter Slate who goes into a very early lead. While Groenewoud makes a disastrous start. Approaching the outside buoy for the first time, Van Tol takes a spill and loses his lead to Peter Slate, with the rest of the fleet hot on his heels. Peter Slate consolidating his lead at the inside mark, but the race is still wide open. Groenewoud falters, but immediately rises like a phoenix from the splashes to maintain his second place. Breathing down his neck, Van Tol, Cudmore, Bruce, Nigler, and Gertenbach bringing up the rear. And leader Peter Slate is making a terrible approach to the inside marker. In fact, he's gone down, and he's going to walk the buoy. No doubt Groenewoud is going to take advantage of this, probably move around wide to round Peter Slate and take the lead. Indeed, here he comes, he's going wide. Peter Slate desperately trying to get up and going, but Groenewoud is ahead. He's definitely taken the lead, and he's going to have to do everything he can to hold onto that lead because Peter Slate is up and right at him. Van Tol in third. And Bruce and Cudmore have been battling it out for fourth and fifth place, and it looks like Bruce has moved into fourth place, definitely wanting to score as many points as possible in this first round final. In fifth we have Nigler and Gertenbach right on his tail. And coming in to take line honours in the first round final, none other than Eric Groenewoud. And Peter Slate coming in second, no doubt very disappointed at losing it on that inside mark in the previous round. Taking third place, Olaf Van Tol. And claiming fourth, Cameron Bruce. And as expected, a great tussle for those first four places, with Groenewoud's pre-race comment proving all too true.
I had a bad start, as you saw. I was about last guy gone, and then with jibing I had a little bit of luck, because those guys were slowing down, because it's difficult to jibe with a lot of wind. And now Peter couldn't reach the mark, so I saw that happening, so I'll go sail higher upwind. And that was my luck, eh? So I jive around him.
Wasn't it more experience than luck?
Also experience, but it always is luck, for sure. That's in all sport.
Contest director Wim Thijs confirms that the wind is still blowing well above the required 50-knot minimum. And sailing continues with 3 full rounds being completed in the women's section, where despite tough competition from veterans Anne Gadd and Marlene Hoekstra, Mandy Bruce pulls off a fine victory in testing conditions. Snatching the first ever Golf GTI Slalom junior title with some determined sailing is young Western Province sailor Michael Cousins. The third round men's final is somewhat academic, as 2 brilliant wins by Eric Groenewoud have already secured victory for him. But the tussle between Olaf Van Tol, Peter Slate and Cameron Bruce as they vie for second place still holds everyone's interest. Despite 6 days of no blow, the 7th day of the Golf GTI yields a full 8 hours of non-stop sailing. Cameron Bruce's delight is obvious as he takes first place in the third round final to clinch second place overall. All that was left were the formalities, and it was a weary but jubilant 20-year-old Eric Groenewoud of Holland, ranked 8th in the world, who deservedly received the 1988 Golf GTI title. To confirm, in the women's competition, Mandy Bruce came in ahead of Anne Gadd and Marlene Hoekstra, and the juniors title went to Michael Cousins ahead of Mark Gorman and Russ Levin. In the men's division, it was encouraging to note that second and third went to 2 South Africans, Cameron Bruce and Peter Slate, while Olaf Van Tol of Holland and Werner Nigler of Austria took 4th and 5th.
Ja, ons het nog seilplankry so teen 5:30 se kant as die wind waai daar in Kaapstad. Dit is die Gunston internasionale byeenkoms en dit is as die wind waai